of human health problems and early deaths. F4, the real-world second nearest neighbor of an indoor residential wood burner lives 80 feet away from the indoor wood burning stack, 10 feet from property line with nearest neighbor in the middle, 60 feet across yard of nearest neighbor in the middle, another 10 feet from the wood burner's property line to his stack. F5, the real-world first and second nearest neighbors to the north, and, on a hill, with their properties below the indoor residential wood burner's stack. F6, there are 35.3147 cubic feet in a cubic meter. There are 0.0283168 cubic meters in a cubic foot. F7, there are 1 million micrograms in a gram. August 2, 2023, updated chart, calculations if PM2.5 emissions at an indoor wood-burning stove stack is at a certified limit, but PM2.5 monitors are 20 or 80 feet away, hanging from the eaves of homes of near neighbors, E P A ambient PM2.5 limits are exceeded. 2 grams is 2 million micrograms. 1 cubic meter is 35.3147 cubic feet. 2 million divided by 35.3147 is 56,633.6398157 PM2.5 micrograms per cubic foot at 1 foot from wood burner stack. Example 1, a neighbor with a PM2.5 monitor 80 feet from stack of indoor residential wood burner. 56,633.6398157 divided by 80 is 707.920497696 PM2.5 micrograms per cubic foot at 80 feet from wood burner stack. Second nearest neighbor's PM2.5 monitor, 80 feet from wood burner stack. 80 cubic feet times 0.0283168, conversion from cubic feet to cubic meters, is 2.265344 cubic meters. 707.920497696 divided by 2.265344 is 312.500219699 PM2.5 micrograms per cubic meter at 80 feet from wood burner stack. Second nearest neighbor's PM2.5 monitor, 80 feet from wood burner stack. A more realistic estimate might be PM2.5 in 8-foot wide area traveling 80 feet to the PM2.5 monitor of the second nearest neighbor. 312.500219699 divided by 8 is 39.0625274623 micrograms per meter cubed. 39 micrograms per meter cubed is larger than the EPA current limit for ambient safe limit of PM2.5 by 4 micrograms per meter cubed. 4 divided by 39 is 10.25%, the amount the stack emissions should be reduced by. The limit of wood stove emissions should be reduced from 2 grams per hour by 0.205 grams to 1.795 grams per hour for certified indoor residential wood stoves. Or wood stove user should only burn 89.75% of the time in a 24-hour period. The wood stove user should only burn 21.54 hours or 21 hours 30 minutes in a 24-hour period. Example 2, the first nearest neighbor with a PM2.5 monitor 20 feet from stack of indoor residential wood burner. 56,633.6398156 divided by 20 is 2,831.6819978 PM2.5 micrograms per cubic foot at 20 feet from wood burner stack. First nearest neighbor's PM2.5 monitor, 20 feet from wood burner stack. 20 cubic feet times 0.0283168, conversion from cubic feet to cubic meters, is 0.566336 cubic meters. 2,831.6819978 divided by 0.566336 is 5,000.00351519 PM2.5 micrograms per cubic meter at 20 feet from wood burner stack. First nearest neighbor's PM2.5 monitor, 20 feet from wood burner stack. A more realistic estimate might be PM2.5 in 8-foot wide area traveling 20 feet to the PM2.5 monitor of the first nearest neighbor. 5,000.00351519 divided by 8 is 625.0004393998 micrograms per meter cubed. 625.000439398 micrograms per meter cubed is larger than the EPA current limit for ambient safe limit of PM2.5 of 35 by 590.000439398 micrograms per meter cubed. 590.000439398 divided by 625.000439398 is 94.4%. The amount the stack emissions should be reduced by. The limit of wood stove emissions should be reduced from 2 grams per hour by 1.89 grams to 0.011 grams per hour for certified indoor residential wood stoves. Or wood stove user should only burn 5.6% of the time in a 24-hour period. The wood stove user should only burn 1.34 hours in a 24-hour period or only 1 hour and 20 minutes in a 24-hour period. Would it not be less invasive to use the readings from a PM2.5 monitor hung from the eaves of a near neighbor's home to find if the wood burner is burning wood more than 1.3 to 21.5 hours a day, causing ambient PM2.5 to rise above ambient PM2.5 limit of 35 micrograms per cubic meter routinely in the yard of a near neighbor? Otherwise, if real regulation of pollution took place using wood stove certification, the wood burner, to prove compliance with safe limits, would have to report to the EPA the number of hours the burner burns wood, on an honor system of reporting the actual hours spent burning wood, rather than neighbors scientifically measuring the actual emissions entering the yard and infiltrating the home of a near neighbor. That is one more reason why the EPA certification of wood stoves as emitting only 2 micrograms of PM2.5 per hour should be replaced by a complaint-based system, in which the readings of a neighbor's PM2.5 monitor could show in real time, on online maps that are available to the general public and to government officials 24/7, with weekend and overnight readings available for download by government officials during normal governmental, probably local health department, normal working hours, if ambient PM2.5 limits are being exceeded because of burning in one indoor residential wood stove. During strict regulation of wood stove pollution, using only certification of wood stoves, governmental workers would have to enter the home of a residential wood burner, determine whether the stove is certified, shut it down if not certified, and ask the certified wood stove burner if they burn more than 1.3 to 21 hours per day, and rely on the wood burner's answer, on the honor system, to regulate pollution from indoor residential wood burning. The EPA is not even complying with requests from the Office of the Inspector General in 2023 and letters from 10 state assistant attorney generals in 2023 to correct flawed wood stove certification which allows highly polluting wood stoves to continue to be manufactured and sold in 2023. The EPA is only promising to make changes in wood stove certification in 2027, that should have been made in 2023. The last changes in wood stove certification were made in 2015, 8 years ago. The EPA is required to make improvements, probably lowering PM2.5 limits, every 8 years, and is now threatened with being sued by 10 state assistant attorney generals in 2023 asking the EPA to comply with that 8-year requirement, among other requests. The interested parties in the topic of indoor residential wood stove pollution include not just the manufacturers, vendors, and users of wood stoves. The interested parties in the topic of indoor residential wood stove pollution include the near neighbors of indoor residential wood stove burners, who suffer adverse health effects and early deaths because of their proximity to wood stove pollution. PM2.5 is the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. PM2.5 also contributes to climate change, global warming, and the rise of wildfires, which also in a continuous loop of air pollution increase PM2.5 pollution. Canadian wildfire smoke infiltrating many areas of the United States in the last few months has educated millions of Americans about the adverse effects of wildfire smoke PM2.5, which is the same wood smoke as indoor residential wood smoke PM2.5. People were unable to commute to their jobs during these Canadian wildfire incidents. Near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners who work from home have their work interrupted during indoor residential wood smoke incidents on a routine basis, when they have to stay inside sealed homes and run multiple air purifiers all day and night. Near neighbors also incur the expense of healthcare bills and the $249 expense of buying Purple Air PM2.5 monitors to hang from their eaves, in the hope that a complaint-based system will replace indoor residential wood stove certification, and real regulation of pollution from wood stoves can happen. The federal government must lead from the top to ensure that state and local governments can feel they can use PM2.5 monitor data instead of wood stove certification. Wood stove vendors and wood stove users have been treated as the only interested parties on this issue, and the near neighbors must be viewed as canaries in a coal mine whose data must be noticed before the wood smoke pollution makes overwhelming changes to neighborhoods and the planet in ways that cannot be mitigated.